So yeah, assignments can be done up to 2 weeks out. And I think, Jared, we've got the final project, the last 2 weeks open so that folks can see those and work on those. Is that right? The letter and the technology training plan. All right, we're recording, Brandon. The floor is yours.
We are ready to go. Well, awesome.
Take it away.
Welcome, one and all. Yeah, you disabled the share screen setting, Clint.
I always do that. Okay.
Again, welcome.
I want all the power.
The power. We're still recording.
Right. Yes, it is. Yeah, we're still recording.
I see it. The red light.
You should be able to share your screen.
Button.
Yeah.
Okay, we are there.
Danny Sloan. Okay.
Right, week 3. Last week of school for some of you, and second to last week for others of you, I suppose. So hopefully things haven't been too crazy-ish the last 2 months, 2.5 months. But with craziness comes challenges, and let's quote here, that's what makes life interesting, though. When we have these challenges, we have these things that we're not expecting, that make life interesting, and it's what we do, it's what we make out of those situations is what matters. So yes, it's been rough, sometimes rough going here and there with technology and figuring things out, and students not doing assignments, and teachers not wanting to do assignments and everything. But you have survived to the end of the school year almost, and congratulations on that, and hopefully you have great plans for the summer that doesn't involve sitting in front of a screen except on Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock. So any questions or concerns from the previous 2 weeks, week 1 or week 2?
I have to say I'm impressed with the different enhanced discussion posts that my group came up with this last week. They were using tools I'd never heard of and new ones that I hadn't seen in a while. So well done to my guys. I appreciated it. Any particular ones you want to give a shout out to, Clint? Rebecca Esplin is the one that did something brand new that I hadn't seen. Can't remember the name of it. Blip. I'll get the name of it here.
Yeah, on those discussions, we will talk about it, but as we have mentioned, try out some new things. This is your chance to either want to try some new programs or technologies, and this is your safe environment to do so. So on those discussions, yes, try out some new things. That's great to do. Well, for this week, if any of the questions come up or comments, please unmute yourself or dump it in the chat. We'll try to get them answered for you. So again, like every week, there's 3 things that you'll be working on this week: your reading, your discussions, and your paper that you'll be writing. Looking at the reading, in chapter 2, it talks about professional learning and professional networking. So I want you to think, what does a traditional professional learning environment look like in your school or in other times, and what does your traditional network look like, your teacher network? So as you think about those 2 things, I want you to go to a website called Mentimeter. So if you open up a new tab or on your iPad or your phone, you can go to menti.com and dump in the code 921925, or there's a QR code right there that it generates for you.
Oh, sweet.
You can scan that QR code, put your phone up and scan that, and take you to the site also, or there's a direct link right there. So there are 3 ways that people can access Mentimeters. And it is a pretty cool tool. I'll show you one feature in Mentimeter here in just a second. So menti.com, and then put in the code, and it's going to let you answer those 2 questions. What does traditional professional development look like? And or what does a traditional teacher network look like? So if I come here to come to the direct site, Mentimeter. So there's different ways you can set up a Mentimeter. You can have speech bubbles. You can have some interactive presentations. Not as fancy as Nearpod, but does give you some options to do some interactive things within your presentation, like and ask questions, have a poll, do some things that way. And mine is not loading. Is yours loading, anybody?
Do you already have the tab open up there, Brandon?
It worked for me.
Oh yeah,
I can
I
vote.
yeah, I just want to see this. So you'll just go ahead and type in your answer here, and then just submit. And what it looks like on my side, and if you go to the answers, you can see this also. I get a screen that all of your answers are being composed right on this screen right here, and there's 17 people on this right now. So this is, again, this is the teacher side, what I see from this, and there is a link on the slides in the seminar if you can click on and go back and review this if you would like to. So a lot of sit and get, a lot of the fire hose, you know, we've all experienced those before. Not a lot of talking, not a lot of interaction, a lot of just listening and sitting and the same old snooze fest. That's always good. I had a principal who would always say, the sooner we get going, the longer we can stay. And he said that jokingly, but it's like so many times.
Could you try again?
So many times that is what it felt like in professional development things.
Danny was mentioning the other day that she's in a class right now where they do Zoom for 4.5 hours.
Right, she said that.
Definitely, you guys.
Is that one for you,
have
Danny?
it in like 20 minutes from now. So send me all your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time.
Good deal.
I think we should all like take a challenge to send Danny something every 10 minutes.
Over the next 4 hours.
Yeah.
Keep me awake. I might be reading some of your papers and discussions.
So the results are loading here, but we all kind of feel the same way, what the traditional PD looked like and what our traditional teacher network looked like, was the teacher down the hall, teacher next door to you. Once in a while, a few articles that you find that you read as your network, family and friends. So, you know, that is traditionally, that is what the professional learning and professional and your network look like. The chapter goes into a new model for the 21st century teacher. You know, what does the new PD look like, and what does your new network look like? So the chapter 2 deals with this from the your old typical teacher network to the new connected teacher network. And they call it the connected learning communities. That is what the new PD looks like, and that is what it entails. And in this community, it's a three-pronged approach. So you have your personal learning networks, your PLNs with your Twitters, your Facebook, your Instagrams, those type of things. You have your communities, which could also be part of your networks of these communities. These could be your Google communities or your other communities that you're involved in besides your subject-specific communities. And then they have these co-ops, the community of practice or communities of inquiry, and that is just these, you know, they all kind of overlap and overlap each other. But just this place where you go and learn about practices and best approaches and things like that. So this is what the new 21st century professional development looks like. It is no longer sitting for 3 hours in the faculty room with stale donuts and people grading their English papers and doing things that shift needs to change from that mentality to having a flipped professional development. Hopefully your administrators can start doing stuff like that, where they send you information beforehand, you do some research, read some things, you click on some links, and you get together in faculty meeting, and you spend 20 minutes, and then you're on your way. So, so it's great, this new approach to learning and for development. So with that, we encourage you to grow your network by connecting with us, your instructors. Our Twitter accounts are linked right there. Our handles are there. I think for most of us, it's the same for other social media as well. But feel free to follow us. We'll follow you back. We love learning from you, what you're sharing, what you're doing in your classrooms and in your schools and in your communities. We like to grow, like to share and grow with you in those things. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us and to follow us, and we'll do the same. We can learn from each other. So that is the reading. This Twitter. Twitter is a fabulous resource for professional development. Using your hashtags for whatever you want, social studies, hashtag English teachers, or whatever it is, and you can find more information than you have time to even sift through on social media. I do have a few links there of some of the best, whatever those are. So the best hashtag, the best education accounts to follow, and those things. One thing you don't want to put in are for ed chats. Education chats are incredible opportunities to talk about a fire hose. It's a fire hose on social media. And there's a link there for ed chats that takes you, you can go to this, takes you to this ed chat calendar. You can see in any time zone, different ed chats that are happening at any time, any place. So if there's a specific ed chat that you're looking for, you can search for it and try to find it. But Utah does have an ed chat. The last one is next week. It usually takes place Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock when hopefully your kids have gone to bed. Jared, you're hosting next week, is that correct?
Yeah, stuck with me.
I believe the last ed chat is next Wednesday. The links there, you can take you to the page, learn more about that. And they start up again once school begins. So
yeah, I was going to say, just if some of you don't know about that chat, we run that pretty much every Wednesday of the school year, minus Christmas time and the day before Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But that chat runs pretty consistently throughout the school year. We'd love to have you come join us.
Next week, 9 o'clock, extra credit from Jared too, if you show up. So, so feel free to use social media to grow your networks, to grow your communities. Great things out there. So hopefully that we can shift from that, sit and bore yourself to death to some other things. And we're taking this class as leaders, educational leaders and technology leaders, so we can take this information back to our schools and back to your administrators. And if you choose to become an administrator, that you have this already in your mindset, that this is the way that it should look, and hopefully it is looking. So our discussion for this week, there's a discussion post right there. I'm not going to read that to you. You can do that yourself. But remember, post your initial response by Sunday, and try to respond to others by Wednesday. If you want to respond to more, that is great. But the requirements for the course is 2. And again, like was mentioned, don't feel like you need to read or listen to every single the post that is there that someone puts in. If you want to listen to all 50 in Jared or Danny's course, go ahead. It's not required to do that. Grab a handful and listen to them, kind of mix up who you're listening to each week.
The trick that I employ is learn how to change the speed settings on the video. If you can listen to it at 1.5 or 2 times the speed, it helps you get through them a little faster, but still comprehend and engage with what they're saying.
So with your initial post, like Clinton was saying, there's some great things out there that you can use. Try some things.
Bulb up. She used Bulb up this week. It's like a BULBUP. New one to me, but it's
Oh,
like
that one either.
just kind of like I kind of liken it to a Google Keep where you can just kind of dump things that you run into and it turns it into like a web page. Or you
Oh,
can put your own thoughts. It was interesting. It's cool.
cool. So that's a new one for me too.
Yep.
I love that one.
But I saw
And
Links this week. I saw Padlets. I saw a Sway.
oh, Sway's
A
good.
Sway this week.
That wasn't the sway behind you with that wind.
Not yet, maybe. With your paper this week, I've enjoyed looking over your papers from my section. They've been good. Most everyone is just focused on a couple elements. You haven't gone through and try to talk about each element. Take time to develop what you're trying to say. So this week we'll have 4 elements. If you want to get all 4 in 2 pages, a half page each, go ahead. But again, that's not necessary. There's a 2 or 3 that you want to focus on in your writing, go ahead and do that. And try to keep it 2 pages or less. If you're really inspired, go ahead, but that's not necessary. So 2 pages is good. So as far as assignments for this week, what's your expectations? Any questions?
No questions in the chat right now, but Tina is telling us that she speeds up the video too. She's glad to know that other people know that trick.
Just don't go too fast, sound like chipmunks or something. Trying to speak to you.
So yeah, I don't do that. Luckily with the video stuff, you can't go faster than 2 times. I can't understand it. If it's, I know people that listen to podcasts at like 3 times speed and I can't do it.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
But
well, there's a couple reminders here. When you join the Zoom room, mute yourself, but please unmute when you have something to say, want to contribute. Please do that. We encourage you to participate in these seminars each week. Using the chat also is a great feature. So please get your questions or your comments or things you just want to share with that. Each week you'll have readings, some discussions. The first 8 weeks you'll have a paper, or the 9 weeks you'll have papers and seminars each week. Week 10 you will be doing your memo to the superintendent. We'll open that up a couple weeks before. Weeks 11 and 12 are open, will be open shortly with your technology training and your lesson plan modification. And some of you have taken many UEN courses before, so we encourage you not to keep using the same lesson plan for each assignment, each course that you take, but to create a new lesson plan that hopefully you are, or not modifying a lesson plan and adding some new things in that you can actually use in your classes when they get back to school.
Brandon, there's a question in the chat.
Yes.
Christy Rasmussen is asking, so it's okay just to focus on a few elements and not all if you want. We won't get docked if we don't do all the elements, is what she said.
Yes, that is correct, Christy. So some weeks you may have 3 or 4 elements, some weeks you may have 7 or 8, depending each, they're all kind of different there. We don't expect you to answer to hit on each element. If there's something that interesting to you or something that you're not sure about or things you want to look into more, just focus on that. No, you won't lose points for not answering, for not talking about each of the elements. Great question. Some of you needed a conference to attend since everything was canceled this year. Our virtual conference, open registration for that on June 2nd. There's a link there. Feel free to jump on and join us. Bring your own chocolate. That's fine. Pajama pants are completely welcome also. But there's a link there for our June 2nd. It's just a half-day conference, so it's not too bad. But for that requirement for the EdTech, if you're finishing up that and you need this last requirement for the endorsement. Thank you. Short and sweet this week. Appreciate your participation in the Mentimeter and for your comments and everything that way. So if there's anything else, unmute your mic and let us know what's on your mind, and or type in the chat.
Jackie Lurcher is saying that CanvasCon in October is online.
Oh, really?
Might be good.
I know at UEN we're starting initial discussions about trying to put together a virtual conference as well this summer. So hopefully we'll be able to give you some more information about that.
CanvasCon is Canvas Convention or Conference. So it's a conference on Canvas, about Canvas.
Or just a big party if you go live.
Not had that opportunity.
I haven't either, but I've seen pictures. It's a big party.
Heard tell.
Yeah, the only year I went, they had the DeLorean from Back to the Future. That was something.
That'd be worthwhile just to sit in the DeLorean.
I thought that was super cool until I saw the same thing at SUCON.
Yeah.
Wendy's
Well,
saying you said is virtual in June. I hadn't heard that.
That's news. Breaking news. Yeah, I don't think you said it's virtual in June right now.
No.
Unless we're
Just
doing
March.
something just for outreach. Yeah.
It'll be next March.
Anything else coming in the chat?
Brandon, I'm checking out your schedule for your Q's virtual conference. This looks awesome.
I got to get Clinton there if he's not going to do his your
CMAP is a go. It's a go. So
So I was kind of waiting on that. So
I won't be able to play along.
oh, well, yeah, we got pretty good stuff there for the conference. I think.
Oh yeah, UN Tech Summit. Yep, that is in June.
Oh yes, that is, and that is virtual, and registration is still open for the Tech Summit.
There you go. That's right.
I can put that link in also. I have it somewhere.
All right.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Good to see those.
Thank you. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your holiday. This
Yes.
on Monday.
A well-deserved long weekend, and hopefully a summer that isn't too full of our classes.
Yeah.
So,
Danny, enjoy your 16-hour class tonight.
yeah, good luck, Danny.
Trying to stay awake.
You just need some sunglasses or some glasses with eyeballs painted on the front.
Ooh.
For real. Last week I worked out I got my grading done.
Did you see Jimmy Fallon last night or on Monday, Tuesday night? What you
No.
can do is record yourself, like, oh yeah, like this, and then put it on a loop and just put it as your Zoom background, and then that way you could.
Michael
don't have
did
to
that
be
in
there.
one of our meetings, and it was hysterical. Nobody noticed, and then he came and sat down, and we were all like, it was amazing. He could have done it the entire meeting. We
Thought it
wouldn't have
was genius.
noticed.
All right,
So funny.
stopping the
Okay, bye,
recording.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.